Tails? Tails! You're not who I'm looking for. Oh, I wonder if he's okay.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Sonic Adventure commentary with me, Skully the Metalhead. Back with more Sonic Adventure fun for, well, most of the Sonic fans here, I suppose. Anyway, last we left off, Sonic was separated from his little buddy, and now we gotta go find him again. Where is he? Well, we'll find out after the cutscene.
Sonic, wait up! Long time no see!
Amy!
What's wrong with you, anyway? Listen, this birdie seems to be in trouble, so you need to be his bodyguard for a while.
You must be kidding!
If you don't, we're just gonna tag along anyway! I got up my map.
And so, that was Amelia Amy Rose, the erstwhile Sonic character who actually had a very radical departure from my Mega Drive design, actually. As you can see here, compared to the more, I suppose, childlike design that was seen in Sonic CD. But I'll get a little bit more into that as we go on in the game, and well, more specifically in Amy's story when we get around to it. But for the time being, it's a design that I honestly kind of prefer compared to the Mega Drive design. I mean, granted, I generally prefer the Dreamcast era designs of the cast anyway, but I don't know, there's just something about it which kind of appeals to me a little bit more. And what am I doing here? Just looking around the beauty of Station Square in all of its realistically Dreamcast era detail.
Ah, look! Eggman's robot's on the loose!
No problem! He's just a chunk of cheesy hardware.
Whoa!
Oh, now what? Huh?
Look here! It says, cute couples get in free! Let's go!
Amy! Wait! Oh, man! That girl is such a pain!
You know, I like the fact that it said cute couples get in free when Amy clearly went ahead of Sonic, meaning that she probably would have had to have gone in alone. That being said, though, one of the well, outside of the obvious Sonic Shorts parody that I could probably point out, one of the funniest renditions of the cute couples get in free was actually a cartoon produced by Roger Vanderweide, which basically showed Amy going completely psychotic on the regulations that came with being a cute couple, which, you know, detailed some rather racially charged material about how, you know, anthropomorphic creatures not being a cute couple. There's racism in the Sonic Adventure. I'm not going to detail any of that stuff. Anyway, Twinkle Park, pretty fun stage actually, and I don't know, this kind of wish a place like this kind of existed in reality. Well, I suppose to some degree, you know, carnivals and shit do, but honestly, it's like looking at all this stuff, I don't know, like, I can still envision at some point in the future we will have a Twinkle Park that can replicate racing like this, but I'm just envious of Sonic right now. Looks like a hell of a lot of fun. I completely forgot one previous point I was going to make, because there was the cat right outside my door. Yes, she's been a very naughty cat, and she just scratched against my door. Shouldn't do so now because I sealed the outer entrance, and I don't know. Forgot what I was going to say. I think it was something to do with character writing, and again, it was something that I do plan to get into throughout each story, as I can go into greater detail in commentary parts rather than the review where I have to be a little bit more concise. Though I will detail it there as well. Currently in the middle of actually going through Tails' story, you know, because I need scripts and footage. Oh yeah, gotta have them scripts. Scriptity script. I don't know why I find that fun to say. Anyway, now it's time for the best part of Twinkle Park. Whee! Yeah, this was another part of Sonic Adventure which had me completely going, whoa, dude, this is the best game I've, like, ever played in my life, man. It's, like, totally radical and stuff, dude. But, I mean, I'm serious, man, like, you know, it's the part of the Sonic and Knuckles the Sonic and Knuckles level design philosophy that I love. Set piece, you know, speed, you know, then followed by some platforming sections, and you know, it ties it together with more speed or possibly another, you know, action set piece. It's the kind of design that I think a lot of people associate with the Mega Drive era, but to be perfectly honest, that design philosophy was quite prevalent in the 3D games, and it's something that was lost around about the time of the Boost era, which, again, is like, no, this isn't me going, oh, the Boost formula sucks, Sonic Forces ruined it, bring back the Adventure formula or anything of the sort, but, you know, it was a very tried and tested formula that I think really worked to Sonic's advantage, and, you know, I mean, if it wasn't for 06 and you know, the unfortunate circumstances surrounding that game, I honestly would have loved to have seen what more could have been done with it. I mean, although I'd argue that Sonic Adventure and Adventure 2 especially, in its more streamlined design, would have already kind of perfected that, it is still something that it's still something that works, you know, and again, even with, you know, even for as many times as people will go on about, you know, the fan-wanky stuff like, oh, the physics, man, that's why games like Sonic Mania is the best ever, cause the physics, bro. Like, I mean, you know, again, that is fine, and again, there is a real science, so to speak, about the gameplay and the way in which, you know, you can use the rolling ball form to, I guess, to the best advantage physics-wise, but honestly, like, I mean, that's not what generates interest. Like, I mean, yeah, watching Sonic roll around is cool, but, you know, you need context and action to really make that kind of stuff sink in, you know, because, like, I mean, take levels like, you know, Ice Cap from Sonic and Knuckles, or, you know, even Angel Island Zone, actually. Those levels wouldn't be anywhere near as exciting if it wasn't for the fact that Angel Island Zone was on fire, or that you were being chased by, you know, one of Eggman's bombers. You know, that's the kind of stuff that makes these levels exciting, and that's fantastic. And we pretty much cleared Twinkle Park. Fantastic level, even though I spent more of it talking about a Mega Drive game than I did about the level itself. We'll be revisiting these stages though, so again, if I don't mention anything now in particular, I will be talking about it then. I mean, again, Sonic's story is really just me clearing out my hype.
Oh, shoot! I've lost Amy! I bet that robot hauled butt after her. I'd better catch her before it does.
And now we go to one of the most iconic levels in the game. And, again, funnily enough, for one of the most iconic levels in the game to the point where it pretty much represented Sonic Adventure and Sonic Generations, this level is honestly entirely superfluous in the entire game. Like, I mean, story-wise, you could have completely skipped over this level, and nothing of value would have been lost. Well, I say nothing of value story-wise, because gameplay-wise, if it wasn't for the level that's coming directly after this one, I'd be hard-pressed to say that this one is probably one of my favourite levels in the game, because this is Speed Highway. And, again, if there's anything that does represent, you know, the Sonic Adventure era, so to speak, you know, Human City is... I think Speed Highway is probably the one that does stick in people's mind. Action stage! Oh yeah! Oh look, the color scheme is completely different, and why Sonic Generations never used this as opposed to the, you know, the DX port, which is all shiny and shit, I will never know, because Speed Highway is fantastic. And I really love the lighting here as well. That's another thing that the Sonic Adventure DX port fucked up. They really messed up the... would it be right of me to say the ambient lighting? I wouldn't necessarily say ambient, I'd say the neon... Oh, it's not even really neon, I'd say... I guess city lighting, so to speak. Again, I can't really adequately describe it, but... honestly, it's just something about this, especially in the Dreamcast version, that just looks gorgeous to me. This is also a point of criticism, gameplay-wise, for some fans, is that they find a lot of Sonic Adventure's collision detection to be a little bit wonky. Personally, I wouldn't agree with that sentiment on the... well, at least I wouldn't agree with that sentiment entirely, because that's usually something that just happens every now and again. The DX port is a different story, because I found far more collision detection issues that tend to slow down Sonic a little bit. Because the one thing about Sonic's speed cap is that, again, it's something that does have a very natural build-up about it. Again, like, you'll start off at a slow jog, but then you'll naturally progress to, you know, balls-to-the-wall speed. And in terms of Sonic Adventure, I'd say it was probably the closest to emulating the Mega Drive era physics, or momentum, that's it. And I suppose in doing so, again, this to a lot of people is where Sonic's control was at its peak. Personally, I'd say that was a little bit more with Adventure 2 in terms of how it handled, but we'll get to that can of worms whenever I get around to a Sonic Adventure 2, but yeah, to be perfectly honest, the way in which Sonic controls here is like a dream. I completely forgot my original point. Sorry about that. Anyway, it's time for our action set piece. and that's Sonic running down a building, which was used in several trailers throughout 1999 and 1998. And to be perfectly honest, I can see why, because this is... Again, this is another one of those holy shit moments that really does generate a lot of excitement, and again, like, for as many times as people will tout, you know, gameplay, you have to remember that it was set pieces like this that really set Sonic up as, you know, the action series that it is. And, you know, it's stuff like this which is just... You know, it generates a little something inside you. Like, I mean, I'd say the closest comparison I can make for it is kind of like how... it's kind of like the movie Triple X, actually. A very juvenile action movie, but it's one, again, outside of being very, very reminiscent of the early 2000s, it's one that still generates a juvenile sense of enjoyment in me, and something that was recreated again with Triple X, The Return of Xander Cage. And before this level is over, I just want to say, the music and the At Dawn, well, both a pun in every sense of the word, this pretty much represents the morning, and honestly, I'm tempted to set this song as my alarm clock, because honestly, I feel like waking up to this music. I don't know, there's just something about the At Dawn section of Speed Highway that just feels very good. Makes you feel good to wake up in the morning.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad? I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, but that's enough Sonic impressions, especially since I can't do an effective Junichi Kanemaru voice, who is my favourite Sonic voice actor, for those of you not in the know. I love Junichi so much. Well, that being said, I could probably get into the voice cast, actually. This introduces the Dreamcast era voice cast, which is basically, you know, Ryan Drummond, Michael McGarm, the Bringus brothers, I believe it's Corey Bringus, voicing Tails in this game, Jennifer Douliard as Amy, the late Dean Bristow as Dr. Eggman, and of course, John St. John as Big the Cat, which... and also the late Steve Brody as well, voicing E102 Gamma. Fantastic voice cast. In terms of the English voice dub, I'd be hard-pressed to say that this is my favourite, even though I did come in with the 4Kids cast, you know, namely because of my upbringing with Sonic X. Yeah, Dreamcast era voice cast, again, I'd say, in terms of voice acting, they do a pretty decent job here. My biggest problem is that a lot of the stilted animations that, and, I guess a lot of the the fact that it's very stilted, means that a lot of the voice acting doesn't really match up with the body motions, which, you know, to be entirely fair to the cast, you know, you could take any piece of amazing voice acting imaginable, like, I mean, even from the modern voice cast, who are, you know, a bunch of trained professional voice actors specifically, you know, for video games and anime and such, you know, you could try and sync any other professional voice actor, you know, acting their heart out, and they give a similar performance.
Amy! Oh man! Where can she be?
Ah! Sonic! Help!
I'll cut him off at the Mystic Ruins!
I really have to stop letting my tangents bleed over into the commentary clips. I do apologize if you can't catch the last bit of what I say, but yeah, I have a lot to talk about. Anyway, now we must go save Amy! Come along... no, this isn't the time for the reference. I had already excised that specific reference last part with the woo! Yeah, whatever. Cutscene go.
Let me go, you hunk of junk! I mean it!
Hey there, Bolt Brain! You better give Amy to me or I'll squash ya! Hey, what's happening here? I've lost her again!
Oh, dearie me, no. Amelia Earhart has been kidnapped by Dr. Robotnik. I'm gonna get into the whole Dr. Robotnik, Dr. Eggman thing in the review, but I don't know, it's just an entire can of worms. That being said though, I do really like the dichotomy between the Robotnik versus Eggman name, how it's handled in Sonic Adventure, because, in this game specifically, and really for only this game, Dr. Robotnik refers to himself as, you know, Dr. Robotnik, as he's been so in the Western continuity for since Sonic 1. I mean, he's always been known as Dr. Eggman in Japan, but it's in this game specifically where they tried to do a dichotomy where it's Sonic and the gang who, as some sort of an insult, call Dr. Robotnik Dr. Eggman, whereas, you know, Eggman himself refers to himself as Dr. Robotnik, as well as the general populace of Station Square, which is something that I'm a little bit remiss wasn't added into the other games. Like, I mean, yeah, I know localization and everything, and, you know, the fact that they wanted to have one consensus name, but I don't know, I think it would have been a fun little bit of back and forth between, you know, cultures, which just would have been a little bit funny. I mean, the Japanese continuity does accept the Robotnik name as, you know, Eggman's real name, so yeah, his real name is Dr. Ivo Robotnik, and, you know, as will be detailed with Sonic Adventure 2 with his grandfather Gerald and his cousin Maria. But he, for some reason, later calls himself Dr. Eggman, which is kind of bizarre, but again, I guess you could possibly see that as Eggman wearing his insult with a veil of pride. I mean, he is pretty egotistical and, you know, self-centered about himself, so I'm guessing that he probably just wants to wear it on his sleeve, and not to mention, I also think probably that makes a little bit more sense that he bear the Eggman name, since it sounds a little bit more within the vein of a theme park aesthetic, which, considering Dr. Eggman's character and how he wants to set up Eggman Land, oh no, I'm sorry, Robotnik Land, the ultimate city. You know, I guess it would make a little bit more sense that he'd go for something a little bit more theatrical, since, you know, Eggman's, you know, a narcissist, he likes to showboat, so I guess he goes with a flashier name. I don't know, it's something that isn't really touched upon in the Sonic series, again, mostly because of the fact that they don't really seem to pay attention to stories anymore outside of Sonic Forces attempting to do so, but kind of pussyfooting out on it because of a myriad of reasons, but I'm not going to go into that, even though I keep on veering into it, but it's impossible. It's too recent. It's too recent! But in any case, now we are at my... it's neck and neck for my favourite stage in the game. Well, neck and neck with two other stages, actually. The previous one being the aforementioned Speed Highway. Red Mountain for the section of the level that's coming up, and the last one we will be getting to in the next few parts. I actually plan to get Sonic's portion of the playthrough done before 2018. Again, I'm recording this in December in case you hadn't noticed, and I'm hoping to get it all done by then, but again, time will tell. But yeah, in any case, that's pretty much how I'm setting things up, and why I had to record Sonic Heroes in advance, actually, now that I think about it. A little bit of behind the scenes, because Sonic Heroes is a very meaty game, and it hurts me very much. But more on that later. Oh yes. This, I love this area so much. And, excuse me, Pepsi. Yeah, this level actually does have a pretty creepy bit of backstory behind it. And again, I'm not entirely sure what the deal is, but, again, and I might be reading into the subtext based on the bonus missions, but, apparently the bonus missions refer to this place as Hell, and that this is the place where Knuckles imprisons people who attempted to capture the Master Emerald. Now, I'm not necessarily too sure on the details of all of that, and again, this could just be, you know, fanon, or possibly my own dark twist interpretation, because, just reading too much into it, but, yeah, Knuckles is a pretty scary fucking person if that's the case. Like, I mean, if this is a glimpse into something into Knuckles' character, or at the very least, stuff he used to do prior to meeting Sonic, yeah, less said about that the better. But I mean, honestly, one of my favourite things about this level, and we won't be able to get to the portion of the song that I love a lot, is this track, Red Hot Skull, which I believe samples another rap song, but goddamn, I love the bass, and I just... oh, this song is delicious. God damn. Again, I love its use of bass guitar, and I also love its guitar riffs. It's so fucking sexy. Jun Senoi, I want to kiss you passionately. And I'm not even joking about that, that man is fucking fine. But anyway, bada bing, you do the thing. It's actually a surprisingly short level, Red Mountain. And, yeah, which... I'm sorry, I just love this level so much. I know I'm not really making myself very clear right now, but I love this level so much, and with that said, we are at the end of the part. Hopefully I'll get Sonic's story done after the break, because I plan to have a little bit of dinner and some Pepsi. So, that note, I am Skully, keep it new metal, and I will see you next time for the next part of the Sonic Adventure commentary. Catch you later, kiddies.